Welcome to the Googleplex. This is an incredible place with lots of great stuff being worked on every single day. Before I worked here, I always wondered what it would be like to come to the Googleplex, meet up with a Googler, and have coffee with them and just chat about what they do, how they do it, and why they do it. And today we're going to do exactly that. Welcome to Coffee with a Googler. I'm Laurence Moroney and I'm here in New York City to meet with Roman Nurik. And Roman Nurik is one of our material design gurus here at Google. So material design, tell me, what's it all about?
Oh, Laurence, what is material design? It's kind of hard to explain. There's actually a video with a bunch of the original designers that created material design, and they get asked the same question and they don't know how to answer it. It is a complex kind of thing. There's a lot of things going on. I guess at the most basic level, it's a design language.
Okay.
It's a design system. It covers visual, interaction, and motion design. I feel like most design systems, design languages are treated as just visual languages, like
right.
Here are the colors you should use and so on. But material is much more than that. It really kind of covers the model, the underlying physical model of a UI.
Okay.
So it basically tries to establish this physical environment within which your apps should live, on a phone, on a tablet, on a computer, basically any sort of screen. And then it basically establishes this physical environment in a set of basic rules and principles. And I like to think of it along these kind of four basic axes or four basic principles. And that's tangible surfaces, or kind of the material metaphor. We could talk about what material is at some point. Also, bold graphic design, this idea that we should take some of the best design ideas from the print world and see how that can help us make really great apps on digital devices.
Right.
And the third is meaningful motion, basically how all these things, how the surfaces and the ink on that surface, the graphic design stuff, how that all kind of moves in a consistent way to help communicate what's going on. And the fourth thing, which is to me one of the most important things, is adaptive design, which is how can we take all these first three things and make sure that they work consistently and coherently across different devices, phones, tablets, and everything else.
Now, you have a video, right, of some really good examples of material design being used. So shall we roll that?
Let's roll it.
So some pretty excellent examples there, but it's like, how does somebody reach that level? For someone like me, I'm a developer and my design skills are non-existent. So if I want to become somebody who can build apps with those kind of design, how do I get started? And how do I learn this stuff?
It's a great question. I think first of all, I just want to, recognize some of those apps they're doing amazing jobs, and they have large teams. Some of them actually have very small teams. Some of those apps are created by one person. So you can absolutely reach that level of quality from these amazing showcase apps, regardless of your team size.
Okay.
But I'd say for the developers and designers out there that are just getting started, there are a lot of great resources out there. There's a great Udacity course that me, Nick Butcher, also from Google team here, and James Williams from Udacity put together. And that's available at udacity.com/Google.
Right.
And there's also a bunch of amazing resources on design.google.com, which will kind of tell you about how to come to Android if you're doing iOS stuff, for example, or how to kind of get started understanding what material design is. There's obviously the entire material design guidelines are there.
Okay.
So I'd say that the first thing, the Udacity course is probably the best kind of first step in getting started. But there's a whole lot of resources out there, and we link to others from the Udacity course.
And Udacity courses, if you're not familiar with them, they are very Socratic in how they teach, right? It's short videos and then challenging you to do something, and then a short video and then getting you to do something. And it's a good way that someone can incrementally learn rather than be thrown into like a huge design doc or something like that, right? So
yeah, it's definitely, there's a very clear progression. We specifically designed that course so that you can kind of start with some of the basics, the most elementary basic things about a screen, like what is a pixel, what is a density independent pixel, and then you kind of ramp all the way up to how do I make everything work on phones, tablets, and so on.
Right, and I have to assume that a design course is well designed, right?
We have some very nice color choices in our slides or our tablet drawings. So cool. Hopefully.
So back to material design again. It's like why material? What is it that?
So material goes back to that first principle. Right. So this idea of tangible surfaces, this idea that everything on a on your screen and your device exists on a surface. We like to think of them as pieces of paper. So basically, you can think of basically a sheet of material, or the word material representing one of those pieces of paper. And the reason we don't just call it paper is because it's a lot more than just paper. In the real world, paper, once you rip it up, you can't really just, put it back together, and paper can't go from being, a circle to a square or to a rectangle. And so we like to think of our digital pieces of material or sheets of material as kind of a smarter paper, a more kind of, still a constrained paper. You can't just do anything. It can't just, do all sorts of crazy things, but it is a physical thing that exists inside of this kind of, environment, this right. kind of like faux environment, but it is something that has a lot of thought put into it. And so the word material, to me really means the sheets of paper that everything in this world exists on. But for me, the main thing, to think about, the reason that motion is so important in material design is that, motion should always have meaning. Try not to, just do like a flip of a button or like a double rotation or something just to kind of draw attention. Every time something moves, it attracts our attention. And so it needs to be really thoughtful and really kind of carefully planned out. And so in material, we use motion, or we kind of use just enough motion to convey the change in some object's state, or try to get a little bit of attention, but just enough motion, not too little, not too much.
I understand Android Studio has some templates to allow developers to at least get started with building material design into
Absolutely. Apps. So one of my philosophies for a long time has been, we can write about, material design. We can write about a thing. We can make suggestions about that thing, and we can try to teach people about that thing. But one of the best ways to get the thing into people's hands, in this case material design, is to actually just build it into the tools. Just make sure that as a developer that's just getting started, even just on Android, if I just go to File, New Project, or New App, right, I should be able to get the latest and greatest. And so in Android Studio now, we're actually seeing new templates for material design. So you could do File, New Project, and then your default activity templates are going to come with material design in them. Okay. So it's going to use the material theme. It's going to use some of the latest support libraries from material design. So things like the Android Design Support Library, things like App Compat. Cool. And so you're just going to get a lot of great stuff for free right off the bat. Nice.
So for someone like me, I'm a coder, not a designer, and so I can use Android Studio, get the effectively the scaffolding done for me in these templates, and then learn from something like the Udacity course.
Exactly. I definitely suggest, even before you do the Udacity course, File, New Project, right? Just look around the code, see what you get. I think that's a great way to get started. I always valued, as a kid and growing up learning programming and stuff, I always valued experimentation. So definitely experiment with that. But as soon as you kind of hit some sort of if you hit an obstacle or something, obviously take a look at the guide and the reference and all that. But the Udacity course is a great way to say, you know what, let me just kind of see what Google thinks is the right way to kind of approach understanding this system.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Roman. This has been a whole lot of fun, and I've learned more about material design in the last 5 minutes than I'd had in a year beforehand. So
this is fun, I could always talk about this stuff. So
they've told me that about you.
this is my favorite thing to talk about.
It's cool.
It's been awesome, Laurence.
And I'm going to check out that Udacity course, and I recommend that you do so too. And if you're an Android developer, take a look at those templates. If you have any questions for me about this, or if you have any questions for Roman about material design or other aspects of building for material design, just please drop us a line in the comments below. Thank you for watching this episode of Coffee with a Googler. For more great episodes of Coffee with a Googler and for more great videos on developer topics, please tune to the Google Developers channel on YouTube. Thank you.